And even through pandemics, wars, everything, it's the lowest now than it's ever been since they've been recording it. So,
well, it's the highest since the market favors buyers. We actually are noticing record fallout rates, meaning when you go under contract, buyers backing out of deals. We just saw a stat this week that said it's in Florida, it's running between 17% to 21%. But overall, it's the highest it's been pretty much since they've been tracking it.
They haven't been tracking it very long, but I mean, consider all that has gone on since they have been tracking it since 2017. I mean, we had a pandemic worldwide. We've had multiple wars start up and end. We've had, the political climate's changed. So you've got a lot of things that have happened since they've been recording that data. And even through pandemics, wars, everything, it's the lowest now than it's ever been since they've been recording it. So,
well, it's the highest. The highest.
So, with that, looking at it from that perspective, what are some things you can do as a seller to mitigate your property from going under contract and then falling out of contract and having to find a new buyer?
Well, probably the first thing to do is look at why they fall apart. If you have an as-is contract, which might sound good to a seller, hey, it's as-is, but the downside to an as-is is the buyer can walk for literally any reason they want during that inspection period. So the fallout is a major issue. Advice for sellers there is maybe get their home pre-inspected to minimize surprises. Also, if you do have an inspection issue, our advice is really try to negotiate that. As long as it's within reason, try to negotiate. Because if you don't, guess what's going to come up when you resell it to a different buyer? The same issue, right? Or and worse, you're going to have to disclose it to every buyer legally so that they know that this is an issue if you don't fix it. So you're going to deal with it sooner or later. You might as well deal with it while you got a buyer on the line. Third most common reason that people back out of contracts is the shockingly high insurance in some cases, especially if it's in a flood zone. That could cause them to get some cold feet.
It could cause the lender to say, you did afford this home, but now that you have to pay X, Y, and Z for flood and homeowners, we don't think you can afford this home any longer. You can't make those monthly payments. So, it's just something as a seller, I think one of the ways you can solve that issue is if you have homeowners and flood insurance, post it. You could put your declarations page or, anything showing all the financials of your insurance as an attachment to the MLS so that the buyer knows, the lender knows ahead of time, even at the time of the showing, what they would be paying if they bought your home.